people have social media have said, "Wow, we can't wait for Monday to come." That there will be traffic in third mainland from morning to night. You know.
Yeah. So there has to be a lot of caution.
So that's why the government of Lagos have said, okay, this is the way we are going to do. Given that ratio of, say, 60% operation, so ordinarily, they are not expecting everybody to run back to work. Yeah. And I think every employer should be smart enough to implement this guideline, for the benefit of everybody. We should not take these instructions for granted. Okay, this guideline, we shouldn't take it for granted. It's for our safety. Yeah. Should this rule, this guideline be abused or be taken for granted, we are going to smart for it. And we do not have the capacity nor the resources to manage the consequences. It's true. So you cannot say, it's not just Lagos State, Delta State, River State, Akwa Ibom. Each state is also rolling out, and the FCT is also rolling out how they are going to come back to work from Monday, May 4th, May 4th as the case may be. So it's now left for each firm now, what I think they all should be doing between now and Sunday, to agree who is coming to the office. Yes. That's one. Two, then how are they going to allow people to come to the office?
Very important. Very important.
So part of what we expect is that if you are coming to the office, these guidelines, you must come with your face mask. If you don't come with your...
The company has provided that.
Whether the company provides or not,
you must come with your face mask.
You must come with your face mask. Okay. So when you now get to the office will now be... I'm sure offices are now doing that. Yeah. Will now make plans for the office will also make provision for. Yeah. Because some employees can be funny. You want me to come to this place, you say I should wear face mask. It's face mask free. You could have such cynical comments, you know. Yeah, you could have such cynical comments from some employees, especially if they are aggrieved for whatever reason that they may have done that. So those guidelines by each firm, by each company, should be on the ground. Yeah. You get the point? Yes. Make sure that all employees coming, that's number one. As they are entering, where is the first place they are going to? Can you guess? You go and wash your hands. As you are entering the premises, wash your hands, then sanitize, whichever you want to do. It's either you wash your hands thoroughly with soap or you sanitize your hands richly, you know, and thoroughly before you get into the premises. And as you enter the premises, your face mask is properly worn. You get the point. So this must be enforced. We should not take kindly to, lightly rather, to any staff of any firm flouting it. I think management must see this as very important. You don't know where your colleague is coming from. He or she probably have boarded a bus, all right, or a taxi to come to the office. Yeah. You cannot tell the states of the occupants of that bus. I can't either. So which is why we are saying that the guidelines for every firm that is rolling back must be very clear. If you're in an office complex, a massive office complex, all right, maybe from the gate, the owners of the office complex must also provide what? Sanitizer for everybody. You know, you could look at how to get these things done. It's for our own safety. During Ebola, everybody started importing what? Hand sanitizer. Yes or no? Yes. That was what, so just do a flashback. And so all we are now saying that it is now a national, not a global issue. Yeah. So whatever we can do to reduce the impact, you know, of this thing spreading, let's please do it. So as you see each state, if you are resident in any state, whatever strategies that are put in place, you can just do that.
Yeah, it's very important. You talked about boarding bus. Transportation is very key too. Yeah. And I'm happy that the Lagos State government has incorporated the National Union of Road Transport Workers into their committee that are going to implement the whole process of this easing phase of the lockdown. what would you expect to see from them in this coordination? Because those are the very critical points, like you said. People boarding bus, you don't know the conditions, you don't know the atmosphere.
See, the NUTRW, the Notaro guys, these are very strong organizations.
Yeah.
And they have a command and control structure. They have a very hierarchical structure. You do not flout laws in those organizations, from the little some of us know of them, okay? Are they going to enforce the number of passengers in each bus or taxis? The answer is yes. They are going to enforce it strictly. And you will find out that if you go to the bus stops on Monday or whenever people are going back, I mean, your correspondents, your colleagues can go out and see, even to enter bus, they will enforce people be on the queue. Wherever you are going, be on the queue. You're not going to come in and be rushing, just be on the queue. And we could do this. So this is going to enable lots of behavioral change, lots of attitudes, some of the way we do certain things. Just be on the queue, all right? And for each bus that is coming, because you're on the queue, once it is your turn, with the appropriate distances taken into consideration, once you're on the queue, as the buses or the vehicles are coming, you will just board in. There is no need to rush. So you could see lots of positives, and if Notaro can enforce this, we will come out shining, in quote. We will come out minimizing the possible spread of this. I respect those organizations, Otto. I can tell you that because I've had some kind of experience with them.
Okay.
And these guys are, the way, once an instruction is passed, it is followed to the letter. It's like a military structure. They're not democratic. It is followed to the letter. That's the way they operate there. So I think the logistics, I'm sure we'll see these things. I am that optimistic that they are going to follow these things to the letter.
I like your optimism. And then another critical point is the markets. And people have raised concerns that, okay, Balogun market, all those kind of markets are going to open like that. I believe that that same coordination should be there amongst the association when it comes to the markets.
Markets are currently opened. Markets are currently opened. You get my point? Because markets are currently opened. The question is, how have they been managing it? The only thing is that we have larger number. But the markets that are going to be open, from what the guideline says, will just be critical things that people need.
Yeah.
You get the point? Because all social occasions have been tampered with.
Social and religious gatherings too.
They've also been dealt with.
Yes.
You get my point? The guideline encompasses them. So for the markets, I think both the marketers, the owners of shops, and the association leaders are also going to drill down, okay, to make sure that these guidelines are adhered to. The level of awareness that the leaders can carry, and let them know that do not joke with this virus.
Situation.
Don't. So the little precaution we are asking you to take, please let's take it. My default state when it comes to the law is to comply. I don't, if you don't do this, don't do it. My default state is to comply. That's for me. I mean, people who know will tell you that's his default state. That's my default state. Is this what it is? Fine. I may not be happy with it, but my first response is to comply. Because my reasoning is first to say there must be very good reason why this instruction
or guideline has been brought out.
Has been put in place. So I think the market associations and their members will also do that. Now, I say this because when I try to drive around in the evenings, you know, to go and get fruits, I see the way people mill around in the markets, you know, close to us. So I see the way they do that. So that gives me, why you may be concerned about some, because women selling fish, selling uba, selling garden egg, selling pepper. You get my point? These are small shops. These people need to survive. So sometimes when I drive around, I try to observe and to see how they are surviving and to see the criticality. You need to get close to these people to understand the kind of engagement we need to have so that they can also see the need to maintain this discipline, you know, as they interact with their customers as well. It's a long, the awareness should just be continuous.
Very important.
I think so.
Yeah.
The awareness should be continuous. If anything, the awareness should be continuous. So the market association, their leaders should get people to be going
mobilize very effectively.
To say, look, please, let's keep to this. You know, you do that awareness call.
And those distancing measures.
Those distancing measures. Yeah. Then the issue of the hygiene.
Yes.
The issue of the hygiene.
The hygiene of the market is also important. I know during this period they've been disinfecting across the state.
Really?
Yes, in terms
that's
of
good.
BRT parks, and even
fantastic
the market. So
fantastic.
that effect should
fantastic. I think they should do that on Sunday.
Okay.
Between Saturday and Sunday, for example, it has rained in Lagos in the last 2 days. Yeah. Within the last 2 days.
So there needs to be an assessment of the whole environment
so
again.
They need to go
take measures. Yes.
Disinfect the place again.
Yes.
You get the place. They need to go and disinfect.
And the rainy seasons are here, like you said, and that's another phase that the country must brace up for, even as we are managing or mitigating this risk.
I don't think whether the rainy season comes or not.
The issues of the flood, the ecological challenges.
Yes, good. Now, if that's a separate ball game from the pandemic, but it is now telling us why we need to take all those precautions. They've been telling us about our drainages and things like that. Make sure that we have mosquito-treated nets in our homes to reduce the impact of malaria coming to us, as the case may be. If there is any message the government should also reinforce is the need for increased hygiene by the citizens. That's what I think they should also add to their campaign, you know, that they are doing concerning COVID. Increased campaign on our hygiene level. We need to ramp that up as the citizens across the board. Federal, state, local governments, hinterlands, everybody. We need to get that done.
And government on its part, while it's creating the awareness, ensures that those services that create for a very good environment for health is maintained, like ensuring that we manage the drainage very effectively.
Absolutely.
Trash cans and all those things that have to be cleared on time. So, Mr. John, you also want to speak further, elaborate on your series.
Yeah, thank you,
starting your business after the lockdown.
After the lockdown.
So just give us 1 or 2 nuggets.
Okay. Hello, viewers. Thank you once again. Today, I just want to, you know, due to feedback, talk a little bit more about the conversation we had yesterday. People started saying, oh, you know, because some things that you and I probably take for granted now comes calling. So you're all of a sudden, certain awareness is dawning on some of us. And the next thing is you're not asking yourself, what is going to happen, okay, now that I am facing this reality? You see, if you are in the establishment stage, there are so many things that are that is going through your mind as an employee or as someone that desires to be productively engaged, you know. And I have said that you can adopt any of these measures. The first thing is to get busy. The second thing is to look for opportunities, what I call horizontally and vertically. You need to look for opportunities. Change job. Talk to people. Talk to people. Call your friends. Look at opportunities. When you listen to programs like this and many others across various channels, you know, you need to be able to position yourself to see, how do I get out? In the midst of what you see that is happening, because I want to reiterate it due to feedback. Your first thing is belief. And I shared that yesterday. Your first thing is belief. My first thing is belief that there are opportunities out there. That's one. Two, I had also mentioned that if your company had asked you to leave, is there a window for you to negotiate your retainership, for you to be taken back to? We are in unusual times. And those people who are even at their maintenance stage, you get my point, they are going to work longer. People are going to work longer. into the 70s. That's a reality. You know why? Because the workplace has changed, all right? And you have this profile of people, different age band or age groups in the workplace. You get my point? There is a marriage taking place, and both cultural and behavioral and perceptions of each generational workforce intermingling. It is causing the older generation, like they call them the baby boomers, to do what? To work longer, to stay more. So 60 years is really not a retirement for the current workplace. I can tell you that 60 years is really not a retirement age. So a lot of people in their 60s are still vibrant. Do you know why? Part of the reason is because of the opportunities and the new knowledge that the new economy globally has brought to bear. The new skill set that people are developing. So whatever age band or whatever stage you are in your career, all right, you see people in their 30s all of a sudden competing for the same job with people in their 40s. Now, if you are in your 30s, which is why you don't need to be afraid about this. And I want to talk to our women, as the case may be. Most times, women do not apply for jobs that they are even qualified for. Meanwhile, the male, confirmed research, the male part, those of us who are male, do what? We apply for jobs that we are not even qualified for. That's an embarrassing, a very whopping statistics for you to look at. So I'm encouraging you, whether you're a male, you are a female, look at every advert or look at every opportunity before you, okay, and ask yourself, do I have what it takes for this opportunity that is available? So you now need to hone down what you believe are the skills and the competencies that you have. When I talk about your skills and the competencies, I've also talked about all your qualifications and your certifications put together. So what we want to see now is to see how you have successfully demonstrated the use of these certifications and qualifications for productive outcome with appropriate achievements to go with it. So, like I was saying, so it doesn't matter whether you're in the establishment stage or you're at the maintenance stage. You will see people of different age band competing for the same opportunity. So that's where your confidence should come. That's where beliefs should come. You get the point. So that's where the resilience tips I was giving you. That's where, when I say all options are on the table, compete for the same opportunity. I don't want to give you different examples. I have had the same experience in my younger years while I was working, okay? Because of the opportunities. You may be younger, you may be in your mid-30s, all right? And the opportunity is asking for a certain number of years of experience. That's why if you look at the age band that I highlighted in both the establishment stage and the maintenance stage, they are about the same. So they may be asking for a certain years of experience. But most times, what employers are looking for is not just the years of experience. They're also looking at what? The quality of that experience. So you may be in your mid-30s, all right? Meanwhile, that opportunity is probably targeting people that in their 40s or early 40s, as the case may be. Because in our climb here in Nigeria, and maybe West Africa or Africa, we are still kind of age, we still have those things, except our labor laws have changed where there is no discrimination about age for any role. Your knowledge, if you are in your mid-30s, is likely to be so good, your experience, depending on where you are working. So someone who is probably in his early 40s, and you are in your early 30s, especially if you started work very well, and you work in a good organization, you may be coming with quality experience to compete for an opportunity that somebody is in the maintenance stage, the early stage of the establishment stage. Do you get that? The early stage of the establishment stage, that means you are in your early 40s, late 30s to early 40s. You get my point? Meanwhile, you that you're your early 30s to your mid-30s, you can now see you're competing for the same opportunity. Why? Because you are likely to have got quality work experience and exposure which you can use to target for that opportunity. The thing about jobs and opportunities is, do you believe? Do you believe you have what it takes to feel and play that role? Which is why I'm telling you the power of belief. Which is also why I'm telling you the kind of company you keep. If I see who your network of friends are, if I assess who your network of friends are, I tell my mentees, those I have the opportunity to coach, if I see who they are, I can tell the kind of decisions you are making. I can tell the impact they have on you. And I can also, by the way, estimate the kind of progress you can make in your career. Until now, more than ever before, you need to have people who will help you, who can coach and mentor you so that you can become better at what you are doing. Even if you have a business of your own, you know, you need to do that. When we started our firm, okay, which I have the honor of leading, you know, I had to meet a very senior friend of mine. Every year, I would take our audited books to this particular very senior friend and very senior colleague. You get my point, to audit, to review, and give us feedback. You didn't hear that, but that's the truth. So this very senior colleague of mine and friend, you know, I have lots of respect for him. He will look at our annual accounts and give me feedback, which I take back to see how to do better in the following year. Of course, like I told you in one of our sessions, I had mentors as well, who I go and they give me feedback. Oh, you could do well, you could do this, why are you not doing this, why are you not doing that, and that kind of a thing. So I hope this addresses, you know, whatever concerns you have, following the feedback that we got, to know that it doesn't matter, even if you are tired of your current work, all right? It is the same approach. You need to be bold. You need to sit down, take counsel, and be coached. Meet somebody who will give you sincere feedback. If you do not ask, you are not going to get. There's some, you know, there's one common saying that he that asks does what? Receives. Yeah. He that knocks, what will happen? The door will be open.
Thank you very much, Mr. John Wese.
Thank you.
You expanded the discussion today to emphasize the need for networking.
Absolutely.
Effective network.
Absolutely.
Very key. And having mentors.
Very important.
And also
impacting
period, your mentees, if you have mentees too.
Absolutely.
Yes,
this period
is
very important. Who are your mentors? Or you may not have a formal mentor, but who are the people you are looking up to? I'm also looking up to. And how am I leveraging that relationship to see how they can guide me, especially if my job is at risk or it's already, I've lost my job.
Lost a job.
It's very important now.
Very important. Thank you very much, Mr. John Wese. Look forward to this conversation as we continue tomorrow.
Thank you.
That will be all for the strategy management discussion, and we this week looking at restarting your business after the lockdown. Indeed, the lockdown is beginning to ease in Nigeria and other parts of the world. We have to be prepared and strategic for it. And that was nice having Mr. John Wese to give us insight on how we can scale and navigate this period. We'll continue this conversation tomorrow. You can join our website, www.proshareng.com, to get further stories and videos around the strategy management sessions we have every 3 p.m. Also, this period, ProShare has packaged for you a platform, Corona Central Watch, where we give you all the analysis, data on the COVID-19 pandemic and its impact on the global and Nigerian economy. Also join us this evening by 6 p.m. for the Human Angle. You will not want to miss it. We'll give you insights into how the COVID-19 pandemic and other developments are affecting humanity. Till we come your way again, thank you for watching. Have a nice day and stay safe.